Umbrella. Long time no see. It's been a hot minute. So I'm driving, which is most of my life right now. But I'm going to be focusing a lot here. But I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about my day and what I've been dealing with. So I recently started working for DoorDash. Hashtag not sponsored. Although I might put my referral link in the comments. You know, a little self-promotion never hurt anybody. Except for maybe the people who watch and are rolling their eyes straight out of their head. Sorry. But anyways, I digress completely. Again, as always. I've been driving with DoorDash for about a week now. And you might be thinking to yourself, like, wow, Amanda, why would you be driving with DoorDash? Because you're trying to start a homestead. Like, shouldn't you be focusing on that? Let me explain. In order to afford my homestead, I need to make money. And being someone who has a disability, keeping a regular 9-to-5 job is pretty difficult for me because I don't know from day to day whether or not I'm going to be able to show up to work. So this gig with DoorDash kind of fit perfect because it's like, hey, I don't need to schedule anything. I can drive whenever there's deliveries available and I'm feeling up to it. So it works really well for me in that regard. I've been doing it for a little over a week and it's been great until today. Okay. I'm not going to go into the horrible details, but my first delivery, a breeze. No problem. Perfect. Nice customer, good tip, didn't have any issues with the restaurant or a drop-off. Everything was great, okay? Everything from there on out went absolutely sideways. It was a Murphy's Law kind of day. Everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. I had all sorts of issues. And quite frankly, I really don't want to go and rehash it all, but suffices to say that just the beginning of my day was hell. It was hell, okay? Or at least I thought it was. And it's funny how God or the universe or whatever your jam is, whatever higher power you think exists, if you think one exists, it's funny how sometimes you get put in your place in a big way. I was having the world's biggest pity party for one. It was me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was actually screaming at one point in the car just to try to release some stuff. You know, every once in a while you just gotta like rah and let it out, you know. So I tried that and that didn't help. And I tried like just, all right, I'm just gonna let it go. And then the next order would come along and it would screw everything up again because that one would be worse than the one before it. So I was feeling really grumpy and very, very much feeling sorry for myself. Until my last delivery, okay? Apparently, DoorDash has recently started doing some grocery deliveries, which I honestly wasn't aware of until I got a delivery order that popped up. Now, the grocery store that I had to pick up this delivery from is in a whole other town, okay? But the money was good for it. And I'm like, I could totally go, to the next town over and pick up this delivery and go deliver it. No problem. For that price, heck yeah, I'll do it. Because my tips had been like non-existent for the whole morning, even though I was busting my tail. So I accept this order. I go pick it up and I'm looking at all the stuff that's there. And there's, some fruit, but most of it is processed stuff. Quick and easy meals, and the only thing that we really know about our customers is their name. So I'm looking at this name, and it was a gentleman's name. And I'm like, looking at the food, and I'm thinking to myself, this is probably some college student. This is probably some lazy college student who can't get off his butt and go get his own groceries. And I was feeling really sour and bitter because it had just been that kind of a morning. So the whole way out to this person's house, I was throwing my little temper tantrum, you know. Well, I get there and I pull up. It's like an apartment complex. It just looks like a normal apartment complex. And I make a phone call to the customer and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm here to drop off your order. And he tells me that he's physically unable to come down and help me. But that there's, you know, a cart that I can use to help me bring the groceries up. And, you know, he's apologizing and he's feeling really bad. And I'm like, no worries. It's fine. So I'm unloading the groceries onto this cart. And another gentleman, who was not the person I was delivering to, comes over and he's talking to me. And he tells me he'll open the door back up so I can come in with the rest of the groceries. And we have a little conversation on the elevator. And he tells me that he just had radiation treatment yesterday. And that he would love to be able to help me lift the groceries and carry them to this other person's apartment. But that he can't, because his doctor said that he can't lift more than 5 pounds after his radiation treatments. And I'm like, no, it's fine. You know, I've got the card, everything's great, you know. And I'm like, wow, you know, here's this person who's eager to help. And as far as I know, the only thing they do radiation for is cancer. And he's going through some shit with his health. And he's wishing he could help me. He is helping me. He's reaching out and he's holding the door. And I know it doesn't sound like much, but it is. And by now I've caught on that this is like a kind of like an assisted living place, but not really. Like they have their own apartments. It's not like a nursing home. So I've caught on to the fact that this is a home that's for, you know, elderly people or people who are disabled. So I go upstairs and I go to deliver my order after talking to the gentleman in the elevator and thanking him profusely and you know, telling him that he should take care of himself and rest. And, you know, he kind of jokes with me that, yeah, maybe he should, but, you know, he's not that type of person. And I kind of chuckled with him. And I said, I know how that goes. My grandpa's the same way. Because he is. My Nanu. But, so I go on with the rest of my day, you know, to go deliver this order. And I get down to the gentleman's apartment, and he's got the door open, and he's got, like, what I think is an oxygen tank. And he's also got, sorry, there was some traffic. I was just making sure there was an officer on the side of the road. Time out for a public service announcement. If you see any vehicles pulled over, emergency vehicles, a vehicle, just a regular car or truck that somebody's driving in, slow down and get over. Please. I see so many people just zoom past people who are pulled off to the side of the road. And as somebody whose car has broken down on the interstate, it's scary being parked in that car. So slow down, move over, pretend your grandma's in that car, or your mom, or your brother, or whoever you like. You know, pretend they're in that car. Anyways, off topic. So, I get to the gentleman's door, and I bring the food in for him, and he's asking me if I can just, you know, put it on the ground. And as he's doing this, he's telling me about how he just got out of the hospital, and, you know, he's got an infection, and there's some other health issues going on, and he's just really not able to go do his groceries, and he's very grateful that I brought his food to him. And the whole time I'm thinking about, like, the little teenage boy who can't go get his own groceries attitude that I had the whole way there. And I'm feeling pretty guilty at this point. Like, wow, I feel like schmuck. You know, I feel like a real ass. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I asked him if he needed any help putting anything away. And he told me, no, you know, I've got it. And he had a cane, so I could tell he wasn't walking really well. So I dropped the groceries on the ground where he asked me to, or I put them down gently. I didn't drop them. And, I tell him I hope he feels better. Have a wonderful day. And I walk out into the hallway. And I'm just pushing my little cart down, and I pull my phone out because on DoorDash you have to utilize your phone a lot. I mean, you're using the GPS, you're getting your orders that way. So I pull out my phone to kind of verify that I dropped off the order. And it wants a customer signature. I ain't gonna lie, for half a second I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just, do it myself. Well, then I read that you can actually lose your driving privileges if you do that. So I'm like, okay, better turn around and go back and get this gentleman to sign. So I go back and I knock on the door, and he tells me to go ahead and open the door, and I'm like, hi, it's just me again. I'm sorry to bother you, but I totally forgot to have you sign this. And he was already moving towards his couch, and he goes, do you mind if I sit down first? No, of course, go ahead, sit down, relax. And he sits down and he signs it, and as he's signing it, I'm noticing, it's one of them things where you have to use your finger on the screen. I'm noticing that it actually looks really good. 9 times out of 10 when I do that, it looks like a 2-year-old did it. So I made the comment to him. I'm like, wow, that's actually a really good signature. We're just using your finger on the screen. I suck at that. And he tells me that, he was a tour bus driver for some time. And that he had to use his phone a lot. And we kind of just start chatting. And about a lot of different things. And, just how, growing up I grew up in the 80s and 90s. He grew up, much prior to that. And about how, all this technological stuff that we have nowadays makes me feel like I'm on the Jetsons, And for those of you who've seen the cartoon, you know what I'm talking about with the screens and, the phone conversations that you have video chat with. And that was all sci-fi when I was a kid. None of that stuff existed. I would have thought it would have never existed in my lifetime. Yet, here I am, recording something on my phone. Crazy. So anyways, we're having this conversation about technology and about how it's kind of cool, how we've made these advancements, and we're kind of chatting about some other things. And, I think I stayed probably for a good 10 minutes talking to him, 10, 15 minutes. And he tells me that, it was really nice to have a conversation with me, and that he doesn't get to talk to a lot of people because, everybody's busy and everybody's at work all the time, and, they've got kids, like his family and stuff. And I told him, I was like, well, I'm really glad that I had a chance to talk to you today too. It really helped me feel better about my day. I said, because I was having a pretty crummy day, and to have a nice customer really brightened up my day, and I really appreciate that. So we kind of, are saying our goodbyes, and I tell him that I'm going to pray for him because I do believe in the power of prayer. And I know not everybody does, and if you don't, that's your thing, that's your jam, all right? I'm not going to criticize you, but I really do believe in the power of prayer. And he looks at me, tears just welled up in his eyes, and tells me that means more to him than anything. That me praying for him means more than anything else, because his health isn't good, and he's worried, and he really appreciates me praying for him. And I walked out of his apartment, and I looked at the last, half an hour of my life, and realized that God just bitch slapped me. He was like, hey, Amanda, you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, guess what? Whap! Knock it off. Stop. Because your life could be a lot worse. And being judgmental never gets anyone anywhere. And just chill out. And honestly, it was what I need. It was what I needed. Not the perspective of, oh, my my day or my life is so much better than these people's, although that is humbling. It's more of a talking to these people humbled me in the sense that, you know, here's two people who were going through some serious problems of their own, and yet they were being kind to me. And I had been really grumpy prior to that, and I was not being very kind. There was a lot of road rage and other stuff involved in the beginning parts of my day, and it really wasn't fun, and I wasn't even being kind to me. And so seeing these gentlemen be kind to me in spite of their circumstances really made me realize that even though I'm having a shitty day, I can still be kind. I can still treat people well. I can let it go, because really, is it gonna matter tomorrow how shitty my orders were or weren't? No, probably not. But it is gonna be nice tomorrow to think back on my interaction with these gentlemen and smile, because they both did bring a smile to my day, and I really appreciate that. And I really am going to pray for them, both of them, even though I didn't tell the first gentleman that I was going to. Didn't even catch his name, but that's okay, because God knows who he is, so I don't need to worry about that. But yeah, so be careful when you're grumpy, when you're angry. Try to treat people with kindness in spite of your feelings. And it doesn't cost anything to be nice. It really doesn't. So I just figured I'd share with you guys my day, how it's been, how it's going now, and also let you guys know that I hope you all have wonderful days too. And I hope that if your day has not been wonderful up to this point, that someone or something makes you smile and makes you realize that whatever you're upset about, it's probably not that big of a deal. And even if it is a big deal, there will be a time where you're going to come out on the other end of it feeling so much better. You just got to hang in there. I hope you all have a great day. Thank you for sticking with me and looking at my double chin. I know it's a crappy angle, I'm sorry. I hope to be back pretty soon here with some actual like homesteading videos, because you know it's been a hot minute. But yeah, gotta make that money, yo. If I want my dreams to come true, I need to be able to finance those dreams. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you later.